was on the street on Monday. If you see the security, I joined him, but I was not feeling too fine, so I couldn't stay long. If you see the security they roll out, could herders, criminals, bandits killed close to 100 people in Plateau, if we have such security, if we have such weapons. So those weapons are only used to protect the politicians. We are in a very terrible mess. Nigeria has entered one chance.
Oh. Honorable Minister, sir, you touched on something that's quite germane as well. You said something about the economic policies. And, you know, that's another thing. Can we get to the root of this to say that, look, Nigerians are being impoverished. So is poverty, you know, lack of economic stability also fueling all this criminality and this killing, this carnage? Does that have anything to do with it? Or just wickedness and desire to grab the other person's mineral resources? What is it about?
You see, the killings that is going on is the political economy of bad governance. You see, Nigerians, the Nigerian political leadership has weaponized poverty. Apart from these killings, prostitution is going on at high level in Nigeria. In fact, one pathetic situation which I met, a woman has nothing to eat, and she was asking her female children to go out and look for men who could sleep with them so that they would give them money to eat. It's as bad as that. Some people have committed suicide and died and abandoned the farm. Some have gone into exile. So there is nothing the weaponization of hunger and poverty cannot do to a people. But if you look at the lifestyle and the way the politicians live, they live very big and lavishly. They drive expensive SUVs, they fly Airbuses, they ride on yachts, on high seas in Europe and America. Their children are not here. So this could only fit the dictionary definition or encyclopedia definition of wickedness. We have in place an unpatriotic and a callous political class that is in power and thinks more of itself. People as a mere population to declare results, return themselves to power, and then continue to unleash hunger, poverty on the people. Nigerians have never had it this bad. Of the over 6 decades of my existence in this country, I have never seen it bad and terrible like this. It is too difficult for the Nigerian population.
So, we want to look at that aspect you said of political will. We have a state of emergency declared in Rivers State, wherein all the elected officials were removed. The governor, the deputy governor, and all elected members of the House of Assembly, and replaced by a sole administrator who is actually a military personnel. And the issue there was an impasse between the executive and the legislative, resulting in the governor knocking down the State House of Assembly. People are now wondering if that was a threshold enough to declare a state of emergency there. Why is a state of emergency then not being declared in Benue? Why is a state of emergency not being declared in Plateau? Do you also wonder why?
I will not be surprised if the president returned from his working visit in France, which he left for France, and the president of France has also left France for Egypt. I would not be surprised if he returned and declared state of emergency against KAFTAN television, and the National Assembly, in less than 2 seconds, the Senate president will just call his wife and children, and they will gather and he will say, I don't want us to discuss anything that has any meaning at all. What happened in Rivers is not a reflection of any of our laws. It's strange to our constitution. So we keep promoting it, and by this sustaining this narrative. The Supreme Court had, in many cases, stated the law that the president has no power under Section 305 to remove a governor or the State Assembly. It's tried law, but because we are dealing with tyranny, there is no rule of law rather than the rule of impunity. It is also very clear in the Constitution that even if, when the conditions under Section 305 are right, the National Assembly shall rectify the resolution or the proposal of the president contained in the proclamation within 48 hours. The meaning of the Constitution, the intent of the Constitution given 48 hours, is that every member of the National Assembly must participate in a debate and make his position known. And that has been the practice. Every member present. And those present, the Constitution said they must be 2/3 of the number of the entire membership. So unless you have 2/3, you cannot even convocate a National Assembly to discuss the rectification of a proclamation of state of emergency. There was no 2/3 on the floor. They were not even up to 1/3 that gathered in the National Assembly. And all that they did was, the veranda boys presiding over the session were so hostile, they were so
Right. Well, that's been our discussion with the former Minister for Youth and Sports Development, Solomon Dalong, who is actually an indigene of Plateau State, even though a resident of the Federal Capital Territory. And our discussion focus this morning is on the Plateau massacre, as well as general insecurity, the pockets that are springing up and that are actually very deadly, and also political trends. We're still talking, we're still on, so you want to stay right by your television set, because after a while we'll also open the telephone numbers. All right, Honorable Minister, sir, I've got to ask you this question. Well, you were a minister during the Muhammadu Buhari administration, yeah? And there was a horrible spate of killings in Kaduna State, specifically southern Kaduna. It was so awful that every Sunday, literally, people would go to church shivering because they wouldn't know if they were going to come back alive after saying the grace. This has actually gone down now, yeah? How come you didn't speak out that time about that level of killing?
Well, I was in government, and what I was expected to do was to make sure that the government rests up to its responsibility. And to the best of my knowledge, I did that. The soldiers that were deployed to Kaduna was as a result of the pressure we mounted on the president. Even when the killings on the plateau were going on, I made sure that regularly I visit the service chiefs and the police inspector general to update them about what is happening and why have they not been doing much, because that is what I'm expected to do at that point, not to be lamenting, because I am within the reach of power. It should be used positively. And I do know that there was a time that in one of the killings in Kaduna, I had to confront the president, and he said, oh, the intelligence was not. I told him, look, this is the update I have about what is happening. We sent troops to southern Kaduna, and much is not happening there. So I did my best. I even mobilized when the church on the platform, me, just like you've done now, of not doing much by telling the president. I told them, okay, maybe my own language of communicating to the president is not making an impact. Will you be able? I said, maybe my own communication to the president is not yielding enough impact. Can I get an appointment for you so that these things you are telling me here in the church, you can tell the president? And the president of course said yes. And I asked him, he mobilized 45 members of the General Church Council. I got an appointment with the president. The church came, I led them to the president. They repeated what they said, their allegations about the government and how they felt the government has not been doing much to protect the Christians. And the president listened. So I did my best while in office to make sure that what I am expected to do while I am within is, to mobilize the government to act, not to be lamenting. But if I am not within reach, my job is to raise an alarm.
Right.
And it's the alarm I've been raising.
Okay. Right. That's very good to know that you are not deploying table manners, as they call it in politics. Let's just do our table manners and continue eating while our people are suffering. Okay, we've cleared the air on that. Now, I want to ask you something else. Now, as it is, like you said, there's no political will for state police. So state police is not on the horizon. Killers are on the horizon, killing people regularly. So another school of thought has it that should Nigerians now be allowed to take their own arms? Can we now have our own guns and protect ourselves? Do you think that will be a way out? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, it's like the audio. Well, this is technology.
Yes,
right.
I heard you. Yes, I
right.
heard you. I think it is about time that the National Assembly should pass a law allowing Nigerians to bear arms. Everybody should defend himself, because the Nigerian state is unwilling to protect lives and property. We cannot be a community that every day we lament the killings of citizens in hundreds every day. It's unacceptable. It's wicked, it's callous, and you can deploy any concept. So time has come that every Nigerian should be allowed to bear arms to defend himself, since the state cannot protect everybody. Then, if the state is saying, oh, okay, Nigerians should not bear arms, then the state must live up to its responsibilities, acquire modern equipment, deploy technology, and deal with this criminality. Let me assure you, the Nigerian security that I know, given the political will, it will just take them 2 weeks to flush these criminals from all the forests of Nigeria. Put the political will, get the necessary equipment, flush all these criminals out of this forest. But the political class are not willing, these politicians are not willing for peace and unity to exist because they are not ready, they are not prepared, they are not committed to develop Nigeria. They are only committed in sending their children to school outside. They are committed to medical tourism. They are committed to travel to France to reflect on how their government is performing or not. They are committed in having vacation outside the country. It's so sad that a sitting senator whose wife will die and the wife will be buried in the US and Nigerians of his kind and type will gather there for condolences and mourning. But he's a Nigerian senator. So this is the reality of what the Nigerian political scene is offering Nigerians. Therefore, if the state, as they are unwilling to protect Nigerians, the National Assembly should, at the next available session, amend the Constitution, since they can amend, they can pass proclamation of state of emergency with a voice vote. With a voice vote, they should pass a law.
Oh, a bit of technicalities there, but what will happen? Let's have the phone numbers up on the screen, and you can call in. You can react to some of the statements. Yeah, that's the number right up there. You can quickly send your calls in. Mind you, you have to just turn down the volume on your television set. Your name, where you're calling from, and straight to the point, or else I might have to cut you because you know we're also having the interview segment live as well at this moment. All right, let's get back to the Honorable Minister. If Mr. Technology will allow us. All right, let's see. You can call in. In the meantime, we're still trying to get on with the minister. In the meantime, we have our first caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Lost that one. Keep trying. The numbers are there on your screen. We're here for you. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir. You're our first caller. Good morning.
I'm calling from Plateau State.
Beautiful. What's your name?
My name is Monday Adomantu.
You're live.
The Honorable Minister is not straightforward on what he's saying. And he's not sincere. That is my contribution. Thank you.
You haven't said why now. You have to tell us why. Whoa. All right, keep those calls coming in. Right. Good morning. You're our next caller.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you. You're live. You're live. Go ahead.
You're not talking bad. I can't hear you.
Just keep talking.
Let me call back.
Just talk. Okay. Yeah, the network is dropping calls, so we can hear him, he can't hear us. Let's try and call back. Let's see if I'll be third time lucky. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Morning. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Right.
Okay, my name is Comrade Onwe Williams Ichechuku. I'm actually calling from Abuja.
Right, go ahead.
Okay. One thing I want to say is this issue of plateau killing, right? I read about it sometimes ago when I was in university, like years back. And this thing is still happening up till now. Now, can we say that our leaders have failed, or the country itself have failed the citizens? That is number one. See, our senators, our leaders, our National Assembly leaders does it mean that there's nothing they can do except flying around the countries? And I don't know if I should continue calling them security men or men on uniform. Does it mean that all this killing after how many years till now, does it mean that there's nothing they can do? Because we are reducing, we Africans, we are reducing our population, we are reducing our able men every day because our leaders don't want to do anything, and we ourselves, I don't even think we are ready to do much. So, okay, if you come to some villages, let me use some villages, some rural. Yes. It seems like nothing like leadership in that environment. Like they were allowed to rule themselves the way they want. And when after all these things, they will be the one that one of them will be elected to that position there. They will continue their life like that, unruled, unguided.
Right.
Nothing like leadership around.
Yeah. What we say in Nigeria, there is no government. All right. We've been able to rejoin the Honorable Minister. You're welcome. Sorry, this is all part of technology, but it's a pleasure to have you right back as we wind down on the program. Now, we're wondering, how is it that Nigeria is sliding, as you say, so much into dictatorship? Why is it that a dissenting voice is not allowed in a democracy?
It's the collapse of internal democracy.
The collapse of internal democracy?
Yes, internal democracy is the foundation of democracy itself. You see, within the political parties, it offers opportunity for the best to present themselves, and they are chosen within. Now, the best within the party will compete at the larger political space, and the best is elected to rule. So, what we have now in place? What we have in place is that we have political leaders who have destroyed internal democracy. So they appoint their relations, their friends, their committee of friends, committee of concubines, business associates, as they nominate them to contest election. So a person contesting the office of governor is also interested in who becomes a member of the House of Assembly. The president is interested in who becomes the member of the National Assembly. The reason is simple. They want zombies, yes men, to be assembled so that once they rig themselves into these offices, they will be able to control them. So the governor and the National Assembly is a master-servant relationship. The president and the National Assembly, or the governor and the State Assembly, is a master-servant relationship. The president and the National Assembly is master-servant relationship. That is why when they see the president coming to present budget or the governor coming to present budget, they are so excited. I mean, the legislature is supposed to be a check and balance on the executive. They are even supposed to invite
Right, it's like we're having some issues with network, but we'll sort that out in just a minute. But keep those calls coming in. So once he's back, he'll be in a position to hear what you are saying. Right, we have another caller on the line. Morning, caller.
Good morning, my sister. Good morning, What's my name from Oriri. Good morning.
Right, go ahead.
Yeah. You see, what I want to find out, or what I want Nigerians to know, we have 3 stages in Nigeria in terms of judiciary: the magistrate, the High Court, the Second, the Google to Supreme Court. Now, I see no reason where a court of public and general decision has given a judgment that has to do with a party, and only one individual sat down there and said that one is their own. Now, are we moving in a country that only one person or one group of people will sit down and decide what they want the country to be? You see, that is why anytime I tell people, I say, look, go to America, go to Canada and see how they are running this system.
Right.
Everything, everybody says, no, what is wrong with us now? Please, let us keep judiciary is the
Right.
And people whosoever is government stick to the rule. If they say go, go. There's no condition is permanent in this world. Good morning, Mazi Okoro from March.
Thank you, Mazi Okoro, for right. Mazi, Honorable Minister, sir, Mazi is saying that one of the problems he's facing in Nigeria, that all Nigerians are facing, is the court, the judiciary arm. So, and it's even a question that bugs me. How come that a court of like, what, 13 people can determine an outcome of an election? How come they don't call for cancellation when they find irregularities? Sometimes it boggles me. Because if so many, there are millions of people in that place, they bring the matter to court. If there are discrepancies, why don't they cancel the election outright and then tell us to go for a rerun? Why do they say, oh, now such a person is a person and the person gets sworn in? Like he said, only one person's voice. What do you make of that?
We are practicing kakistocracy.
Oh.
Yes, kakistocracy is a government of incompetent people. You can Google it or you can ask AI, it will help you. It's a system of government. That is the type we are practicing in Nigeria. Now, under kakistocracy, intellectuals have no place. Knowledge has no place. Positive values have no place. Justice have no place. The rule of law has no place. We are governed by the whims and caprices of veiled men. That took us to this question. Under the 1999 Constitution, the judiciary is empowered to adjudicate on issues. The judiciary has no power to replace the power of the bar. Because the same Constitution provides it can only be gotten through the power of the bar under a periodic tenure. But what we have happening today is because of endemic corruption that has eaten deep into the roots of our social fabric. We set the power of election. In the last judgment of the Supreme Court in the presidential election, the Supreme Court endorsed the irregularity of independent National Electoral Commission, which means that INEC is where Nigerians are supposed to go and campaign, not the people. Because whatever INEC says is law, according to that judgment. INEC in 2023 mobilized Nigerians that the election was going to be innovated by technology. Nigerians became very confident and mobilized. Nigerians from even outside the country travel home just to vote so that they can vote a government for the future. Nigerians actually voted, but INEC, while collating the results, dumped technology and embarked on a safe voyage of declaring a winner in the night, even after INEC has adjourned coalition results to 10 a.m. in the morning. By 4 a.m. in the night, they declared a winner. And the man who declared the results was also saying, please don't fight. Anybody who is disagreeing with me, go to court. And I've said it, that there is an East African adage that says, when a thief tells you to go to court, he is sure that the judge is his brother. But Nigerians allow INEC to get away with it. They went to court, and the court endorsed the illegality of INEC. So we are dealing with kakistocracy. We're not dealing with democracy. So don't be talking about the judiciary. Don't be talking about our military. Somebody used the right word, men in uniform. Don't be talking about the legislature. No. Kakistocracy is a government of incompetent people. So don't talk anything that are not positive values under that system. That is the system of government in practice in Nigeria.
So what will Nigerians do right now how are we gonna get ourselves at least some breather, some measure of security for ourselves, some measure of sanity? What do we do now?
Nigerians must realize that all these divisions using ethnicity, using religion is just the devices of these failed political leaders to divide the people and rule them. They must bury their differences. There is no Igbo man hunger. There is no Christian poverty. There is no northern sufferings. Nigerians are all into it. And then the enjoyment, the lavishing that is going on between the political class, they don't know Islam, they don't know Christianity, they don't know religion. When you see them fighting in the National Assembly, when they were fighting to silence the voice of that powerful woman who was trying to expose them, they were not talking Yoruba. They were not talking Hausa. They were not talking Fulani. They are not talking Islam. All of them agreed because they are sharing dollars. They ganged up to shut this woman out because she was going to expose them. Nigerians must use
Senator Natasha Poti? You're talking about Senator Natasha Poti?
Yes, my senator. She's representing the Nigerian state. That is the senator representing Nigeria. Every Nigerian is represented by Natasha. They shut that voice. If you look at the way they were ganging up, do you see anybody say they are resembling Igbo? Did you see any Hausa man there? Did you see any Christianity there? Did you see Islam? Did you see North or South there? No. So why must Nigerians be stupid to allow themselves to be divided by religion? We must come together and get this people out of this place. Otherwise, we will all be destroyed. We either come together and survive as a people, or we collectively die as fools.
We either come together in unity to survive as a people, or collectively we will be destroyed. Very big takeaway there from a man who is an academic, he's an author, he's a barrister at law, he's a human rights crusader. He has sat in the executive position as Nigeria's Honorable Minister for Sports Development, Minister for Youth. Then the ministry was combined. It's now only Ministry for Sports. It's been a pleasure speaking this morning to Barrister Solomon Dalong. We've taken away a whole lot from you. Thank you very much for waking up this morning to grace our screens on KAFTAN Television. The program time is winding fast down, so I can only appreciate you, wish you a very good day, and we'll ensure we implement those that are implementable amongst what you have given us this morning. God bless. Thank you very much. Right?
Thank you very much. And I also encourage Nigerians to remain united and remain focused.
Right. Remain united, remain focused. We have Godwin. You're our last caller this morning. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
I'm calling from Imo State.
Yes, go ahead. You have 60 seconds.
Actually, I like the program.
God bless.
And also, the minister here just spoke my mind. So, I would like us to come out now to fight those idiots. Yes, we have to take power on our hands so that we can defeat those idiots. Thank you.
Thank you. Whoa, I was getting a bit worried so that NBC won't come and crash over us in the studio. Right. That's the last edition of The Press this week, the last edition of The Press on Kaftan Television. Join us again on Monday morning. We'll also have a loaded package for you. Right, I must thank our technical crew led by Mr. Bright Chukwuek is here and the others with him. Thank you very much for making this a success. Not forgetting to thank Mr. Felix for ensuring we not only are live, but we're streaming live. All right, keep faith with Kaftan Television. My name's Mickey Atta. I'm wishing you a beautiful weekend. God bless you. Bye-bye now.